Welcome, everyone. I'm excited to kick off today's presentation on management of natural resources. This is the first slide, and I'd like to briefly introduce what we'll be exploring. We'll look at key strategies for managing our natural resources sustainably, discuss challenges we face, and explore ways to ensure their preservation for future generations. Let's get started. Let's take a closer look at some of the key natural resources that are essential for our survival. Starting with water, it's the most vital resource we have, supporting all forms of life. Then we have forests, which not only provide us with timber and paper, but also play a crucial role in maintaining ecological balance. Moving on, the 3 R's, reduce, reuse, and recycle, are simple yet powerful actions we can all take to save our environment. Next, we have coal and petroleum, which are major sources of energy, but also significant contributors to pollution and climate change. Wildlife is another critical aspect. Preserving animal and plant species is vital for biodiversity and healthy ecosystems. Finally, there's the need for proper management of natural resources. As our population grows and demands increase, sustainable management becomes more important than ever to ensure these resources are available for future generations. All these elements, water, forests, energy sources, wildlife, and resource management, are interconnected. Together, they highlight the importance of conserving our environment through the principles of the 3 R's and responsible stewardship. Let's talk about natural resources. These are the raw materials that come from the earth and are essential for our daily lives. They include things like water, minerals, forests, and fossil fuels. These resources are the foundation of many industries and economies around the world. It's important to recognize how vital they are, but also to understand that they are finite and need to be managed responsibly. Throughout this presentation, we'll see how natural resources influence development and sustainability. So, understanding their role helps us grasp the bigger picture of global economic and environmental challenges. Let's start by talking about resources that cannot be replenished quickly, such as minerals like coal, petroleum, natural gas, and metals. These take millions of years to form, which means once we use them up, they are essentially gone for a very long time. That's why they are classified as non-renewable natural resources. Now, moving on to human activities, unfortunately, they generate a lot of waste materials. These wastes are often discarded into our environment, and this causes pollution of vital natural resources like air, water, and soil. Pollution not only harms the environment, but also affects our health and the balance of ecosystems. On the other hand, we have resources that can be replenished in a short period of time, such as air, water, sunlight, and forests. These are called renewable natural resources. Because they renew themselves naturally and relatively quickly, they are more sustainable if managed properly. Finally, to give a broad overview, natural resources are all the materials and components we find in nature, like air, water, soil, minerals, forests, and wildlife. These resources are essential for our survival and development. They fall into 2 main categories, renewable and non-renewable. Understanding these differences helps us realize the importance of conserving our natural environment and using resources wisely. Now, let's take a closer look at natural resources. As you can see from these images, natural resources are the raw materials that come directly from the earth, such as water, minerals, forests, and fossil fuels. They are essential for our daily lives and support industries, economies, and communities worldwide. In this slide, I want to emphasize that natural resources are the foundation of many economic activities. They are finite, which means we need to manage them responsibly to ensure they are available for future generations. Understanding these resources helps us see how interconnected our environment and economy really are. As we move forward in this presentation, we'll explore how their sustainable use impacts not just the environment, but also our quality of life and global development. All right, let's talk about the 3 R's to save the environment. These are simple yet powerful principles that can make a big difference. First, we have reduce. This means cutting down on the amount of waste we produce, whether it's by using fewer disposable items or choosing products with less packaging. Next is reuse, which encourages us to find new ways to use things instead of throwing them away. Think about repurposing containers or donating clothes. And finally, recycle. This is about properly sorting our waste so materials can be processed and turned into new products. Together, these 3 R's form a practical approach that helps protect our planet. When we apply them consistently, we contribute to a healthier environment and move closer to sustainability. Remember, small actions by many people can lead to big change, and that's what this overall effort is all about. Now, let's talk about the 3 key principles that can really help us protect our environment: reduce, recycle, and reuse. First, reuse means using things again and again. For example, those plastic bottles we buy jam or pickle in can be washed and used again for storing food in the kitchen. It's a simple way to cut down on waste and make the most of what we already have. Next, recycle involves taking used materials like paper, plastic, glass, and metals, and turning them into new products instead of creating new materials from scratch. This process helps save natural resources and reduces pollution. Lastly, reduce is about using fewer resources altogether. It means being mindful of how much we consume and avoiding unnecessary wastage. By practicing these 3 principles, reduce, recycle, and reuse, we can make a big difference in protecting our environment and ensuring a sustainable future. Now, let's take a closer look at Slide 8, which features recycled paper articles and images. This slide provides an overview of the 3 R's: reduce, reuse, and recycle. These core principles are fundamental to sustainable living and environmental responsibility. First, when we talk about reduce, we mean cutting down on the amount of waste we generate. It's about being mindful of our consumption, buying only what we need and choosing products with less packaging. Next is reuse, finding ways to use items multiple times instead of discarding them after a single use. This can involve repurposing containers, donating clothes, or using refillable bottles. Finally, recycle involves processing materials to make them into new products, like turning used paper into recycled paper articles, which you see here in the images. Recycling helps conserve resources and reduces landfill waste. Together, these 3 principles create a powerful framework for minimizing our environmental impact. And as we continue this presentation, keep in mind how each of these steps plays a vital role in building a more sustainable future. Let's talk about the need for management of natural resources. As we've seen throughout this presentation, natural resources are vital for sustaining life and supporting economic development. However, these resources are limited and often under pressure from human activities. That's why effective management is crucial, not only to conserve resources for future generations, but also to ensure their sustainable use today. When we manage natural resources properly, we can prevent overexploitation, reduce environmental degradation, and promote a balanced relationship between development and conservation. This connects directly to our overall theme of sustainable development, emphasizing that responsible resource management is key to maintaining the health of our planet and the well-being of all its inhabitants. As we extract and use natural resources, it's crucial that we also plan for the safe disposal of wastes. This helps prevent any harm to our environment. Long-term planning is essential to ensure that these resources last not just for us today, but also for future generations. It's important to remember that the exploitation of natural resources should benefit everyone, not just a select few. Fair distribution is key. We also need to use these resources wisely, avoiding waste whenever possible. Proper management of natural resources involves understanding that everything we consume comes from nature. With increasing population, industrial growth, and urbanization, the demand for these resources keeps rising. But their availability remains limited, which makes management absolutely vital. This is why managing natural resources effectively is so important. It helps us balance our needs with sustainability, ensuring that these resources are available for the future while meeting today's demands. Let's talk about forests. Forests are incredibly vital ecosystems that cover about 31% of our planet's land area. They are home to more than 80% of terrestrial species, making them some of the most biologically diverse places on Earth. Forests also play a crucial role in regulating our climate by absorbing carbon dioxide and producing oxygen. Moreover, they provide resources we rely on daily, such as timber, food, and medicinal plants. But they're not just resources, they also support the livelihoods of millions of people worldwide. Understanding the importance of forests ties back to our overall theme of environmental sustainability. Protecting these ecosystems is essential for maintaining biodiversity, combating climate change, and ensuring a healthy planet for future generations. Forests play a crucial role in maintaining the oxygen, carbon dioxide balance in our environment. They absorb carbon dioxide during photosynthesis and release oxygen, which is vital for all living beings. Beyond that, forests provide us with essential resources like timber, wood, fuel, medicines, and fodder, supporting both our daily needs and economic activities. They also help control soil erosion by stabilizing the land with their roots, and they act as natural flood control systems by absorbing excess rainwater. Forests are the natural habitats for countless plants and animals, fostering rich biodiversity. Protecting these ecosystems is key to preserving the ecological balance that sustains life on Earth. Overall, forests are invaluable not just for their resources, but for their role in maintaining a healthy, balanced planet that supports all forms of life. People who are associated with forests, whether directly or indirectly, are called stakeholders of forests. These include a range of groups with different interests and roles. First, there are nature and wildlife organizations that work tirelessly to conserve and preserve forests, recognizing their importance for biodiversity and ecological balance. Then, we have industrialists who depend on forest raw materials for manufacturing a variety of products like paper, medicines, and furniture. Their work highlights the economic value of forests, but also underscores the need for sustainable practices. Next, the Forest Department of the government plays a crucial role. They own and manage the forests, controlling the resources and ensuring that the forests are used responsibly. Lastly, the people living in and around forests are heavily dependent on them for their livelihood, whether it's through farming, collecting forest produce, or other activities. All these groups, conservationists, industries, government agencies, and local communities, are interconnected in the larger picture of forest management. They each have a stake, and understanding their roles helps us appreciate the complex balance needed to protect our forests while meeting human needs. Today, I want to talk about some important ways we can work towards conserving our forests. One effective approach is undertaking social forestry programs like Van Mahitsav and the Chipko movement. These initiatives focus on planting and protecting trees on a large scale, involving communities and raising awareness about the importance of trees for our environment. Additionally, setting up wildlife sanctuaries, national parks, and biosphere reserves plays a crucial role in protecting our biodiversity and preserving natural habitats. These protected areas ensure that both flora and fauna are safe from destruction and overexploitation. Another key point is preventing overgrazing by cattle, which can lead to soil erosion and deforestation. Managing grazing practices helps maintain the health of our forests and prevents them from being depleted too quickly. We also need to focus on preventing or reducing deforestation itself, which is a major threat to our ecosystems. Afforestation, or the planting of more trees, is a vital strategy here, restoring areas that have been cut down and expanding forest cover. In summary, forests can be conserved through these concerted efforts, whether it's through social programs, protected areas, managing grazing, or planting more trees. By working together on these fronts, we can ensure the health and sustainability of our forests for future generations. Let's take a closer look at the importance of conservation images, especially when it comes to preserving our forests. These images play a crucial role in raising awareness about the state of our forests and the urgent need to protect them. They can capture the beauty of healthy forests, but also the damage caused by deforestation, fires, and illegal logging. By visually illustrating these issues, conservation images help us connect emotionally and understand the real impact of our actions. They serve as powerful tools to inspire change and motivate conservation efforts. Remember, protecting forests is vital not just for maintaining biodiversity, but also for combating climate change and supporting local communities. So, when we think about conservation, these images remind us of what's at stake and what we stand to lose if we don't take action. They are an essential part of our overall effort to promote sustainable practices and preserve these vital ecosystems for future generations. Wildlife plays a crucial role in maintaining healthy ecosystems. When I think about it, these creatures are not just part of nature's beauty, they're vital for ecological balance. They help control pests, pollinate plants, and disperse seeds, which keeps habitats thriving. Focusing on wildlife also reminds us of the importance of conserving biodiversity. Every species, from the smallest insect to the largest predator, has a part to play. Protecting wildlife means protecting the entire web of life that sustains us all. Throughout this presentation, we've seen how human activities impact these animals and their habitats. It's essential that we recognize our responsibility to preserve wildlife, not just for their sake, but for the health of our planet and future generations. So, when we think about conservation efforts, we should remember that supporting wildlife means supporting the overall health of our environment. It's interconnected, and every effort counts. Today, I want to talk about the importance of wildlife and how we can protect it. First, we have set up wildlife sanctuaries, national parks, and biosphere reserves. These areas are crucial because they provide safe habitats for animals and plants, helping to conserve our natural heritage. Protecting endangered species is also a key part of this effort. Many animals are at risk of disappearing forever, so banning poaching is essential to prevent illegal hunting and trafficking. Additionally, preserving natural habitats ensures that animals continue to thrive in their homes. Wildlife isn't just beautiful to look at. It also provides us with many useful products like food, medicines, leather, bones, honey, lac, and more. These resources are valuable for our daily lives and economies. Moreover, wildlife plays a vital role in maintaining food chains and food webs, which are the foundation of healthy ecosystems. Finally, conserving wildlife helps us preserve biodiversity, the variety of life on Earth. Each species has a role, and losing any one of them can disrupt the balance of nature. So, protecting wildlife is not just about saving animals, it's about safeguarding the health of our planet for future generations. Let's take a moment to look at these powerful images of wildlife. They remind us of the incredible diversity and beauty of the natural world that we are working to protect. When we talk about conservation of wildlife, we're really focusing on safeguarding these species and their habitats so they can thrive for generations to come. It's not just about saving individual animals, it's about maintaining the balance of entire ecosystems. Protecting wildlife also means addressing threats like habitat destruction, poaching, and climate change, which are all interconnected. Every effort we make contributes to a larger goal, ensuring that future generations can experience the richness of our planet's wildlife. This theme of conservation is central to our overall mission to promote sustainability and respect for nature. Let's talk about water. Water is truly essential. It's at the core of life and plays a crucial role in nearly every aspect of our environment and daily operations. When we think about sustainability and resource management, water stands out as one of the most vital elements. It's not just about hydration. It's about ensuring clean, accessible water for agriculture, industry, and communities. In this slide, I want to emphasize how water impacts our overall goals. Effective water management can lead to healthier ecosystems, more efficient industries, and resilient communities. It's also important to recognize that water resources are limited and often under threat from pollution, overuse, and climate change. So, as we move forward in this presentation, keep in mind that safeguarding water is not just an environmental concern. It's a fundamental part of creating sustainable solutions that benefit everyone. Water truly is a cornerstone of our future. Water is a basic necessity for all living things. We rely on water every day for many purposes. It's essential for our daily needs like drinking, cooking, and cleaning. Beyond that, water plays a crucial role in agriculture, helping us grow crops and raise livestock. It's also vital for transportation. Think about boats and shipping routes that depend on water bodies. In construction, water is used for mixing materials, curing concrete, and more. We also need water to build infrastructure like roads, dams, and buildings. Water isn't just a resource for humans. It's a natural habitat for countless aquatic organisms, fish, plants, and other creatures that thrive in water environments. However, human activities are impacting this vital resource. Our actions are reducing the availability of clean water and polluting water bodies. This affects ecosystems and our own health, highlighting the importance of managing and protecting water resources responsibly. Remember, water is interconnected with everything we've discussed so far: our health, environment, and sustainable development. Dams offer several important advantages that really support our communities and the environment. First, they help control floods, which is crucial for protecting lives and property during heavy rains. Next, they are a reliable source of producing electricity through hydroelectric power, which is a clean and renewable energy option. Dams also supply water to towns and cities, ensuring we have enough water for daily use. Additionally, they support irrigation for crops, which boosts agricultural productivity and helps us grow enough food. Overall, dams play a vital role in managing water resources efficiently and sustainably. Now, let's consider some of the significant disadvantages of dams. First, they can lead to environmental problems, such as deforestation and the loss of biodiversity. When a dam is built, large areas of land are often flooded, which destroys habitats and displaces many plant and animal species. This impact on ecosystems is a serious concern. Next, there's the economic aspect. Dams are incredibly expensive to build and maintain. They require a huge amount of public money, which could potentially be used for other essential projects or services. So, while they provide benefits like hydroelectric power, the financial costs are considerable. Lastly, we can't overlook the social problems. The construction of dams often displaces large numbers of people from their homes. These individuals then need to be rehabilitated, which is a complex and costly process. It can also lead to social upheaval and the loss of communities. Overall, while dams have their advantages, it's crucial to carefully weigh these disadvantages, environmental, economic, and social, when considering such projects. Let's take a closer look at some images of dams. Dams are incredible structures that play a crucial role in water management and energy production. They are built to control water flow, prevent flooding, and generate hydroelectric power. When we think about dams, it's important to consider their design and how they integrate into the surrounding environment. These images highlight the impressive engineering behind these structures and remind us of their significance in sustainable development. As we continue exploring water resources, understanding dams helps us appreciate the balance between harnessing nature's power and protecting ecosystems. Now, let's talk about some practical methods for water harvesting. One effective approach is the construction of dikes, which help in controlling water flow and capturing runoff. Building rooftop collecting units in houses is also a simple yet efficient way to gather rainwater directly from roofs. We can also build small earthen dams or concrete check dams across streams or gullies to slow down water flow and increase infiltration. Additionally, constructing reservoirs provides larger storage solutions for significant water collection. Digging pits, ponds, or lakes is another effective method, creating natural water bodies that can store rainwater for future use. Overall, water harvesting involves collecting and storing rainwater during the rainy season so it can be utilized during dry periods. The common methods, as I've mentioned, include building physical structures like dams and reservoirs and setting up collection systems on rooftops. These techniques are vital because they help us conserve water, improve water security, and support sustainable water management practices. Now let's look at some of the key advantages of underground water. First, it does not get polluted easily, which makes it a reliable source for our needs. Because it's stored underground, it is naturally protected from many surface pollutants. Next, underground water spreads out and recharges wells naturally, helping to maintain a sustainable supply over time. It also doesn't provide a breeding ground for mosquitoes and houseflies, which is important for keeping our environment healthy and preventing the spread of diseases. Additionally, underground water provides moisture that can be used for irrigating crops, supporting agriculture and food production. And finally, it doesn't evaporate easily, meaning it remains available for longer periods, especially in dry climates. These advantages highlight how underground water is a vital resource, especially when combined with rainwater harvesting techniques, which help us collect and utilize rainwater effectively. Now, let's take a closer look at water harvesting, specifically rainwater harvesting. As you can see from these images, this method involves collecting and storing rainwater for later use. It's a simple yet highly effective way to supplement our water needs, especially in areas where water scarcity is a concern. By capturing rainwater from rooftops or other surfaces, we can reduce our dependence on conventional sources and also minimize runoff that could cause erosion or pollution. This practice not only conserves water, but also promotes sustainable water management, aligning perfectly with our overall theme of resource conservation and eco-friendly practices. Implementing rainwater harvesting can be a game changer for communities, helping ensure a more resilient water supply for the future. Let's take a moment to look at these images of rainwater harvesting systems. As you can see, rainwater harvesting involves collecting and storing rainwater from roofs or other surfaces. This method is a practical and sustainable way to supplement our water supply, especially in areas facing water scarcity. The key points here are that it's a cost-effective solution and helps reduce runoff, minimizing erosion and pollution. It also plays a vital role in promoting water conservation, which ties back to our overall theme of sustainable resource management. By incorporating rainwater harvesting, we not only make better use of available resources, but also move closer to more resilient and environmentally friendly communities. Let's talk about coal and petroleum, two of the most important fossil fuels we rely on today. Coal is a combustible black or brownish-black sedimentary rock that has been used for centuries as a source of energy, especially for electricity generation and industrial processes. It's abundant in many parts of the world, making it a key resource in our energy mix. However, burning coal also releases a significant amount of pollutants and greenhouse gases, which contribute to environmental issues like air pollution and climate change. Petroleum, on the other hand, is a liquid fossil fuel that's mainly used to produce fuels like gasoline, diesel, and jet fuel, as well as many other products like plastics and chemicals. It's extracted from underground reservoirs and has become a vital part of our daily lives, powering transportation and industry. While both coal and petroleum have fueled economic growth, they also pose environmental challenges, including pollution and resource depletion. Connecting this to our overall theme, it's important to recognize that while these fuels have powered development, their environmental impact prompts us to think about cleaner, more sustainable energy sources for the future. Coal and petroleum contain several key elements: carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, and sulfur. When we burn these fuels, they release various gases into the atmosphere. The main ones are carbon dioxide, which is a major greenhouse gas contributing to global warming, and oxides of nitrogen and sulfur. These oxides can react with moisture in the air to produce acid rain, which harms our environment and ecosystems. Now, it's important to remember that coal and petroleum are fossil fuels, meaning they are formed from the decomposition of dead plants and animals over millions of years deep inside the earth. Because of this slow formation process, they are considered non-renewable resources. To give you some perspective, petroleum reserves might last around 40 years with current consumption rates, while coal reserves could last about 200 years. This highlights the importance of managing these resources wisely and exploring alternative energy sources. Understanding these points helps us see the environmental impact of our energy choices and the urgency of transitioning to cleaner options for a sustainable future. Now let's take a closer look at coal and petroleum, two of the most important fossil fuels. As you can see from these images, coal is a black or brownish-black sedimentary rock formed from plant material that was buried and subjected to heat and pressure over millions of years. It's been a major energy source for centuries, especially in electricity generation and industry. Petroleum, on the other hand, is a liquid fossil fuel, often called crude oil. It's formed from tiny marine organisms that settled on the ocean floor and were buried under layers of sediment. Over time, heat and pressure transformed these organic materials into oil, which we extract and refine into gasoline, diesel, and other fuels. Both coal and petroleum have played crucial roles in powering economies, but they also come with significant environmental challenges. Burning these fuels releases greenhouse gases and pollutants, which contribute to climate change and air quality issues. As we move forward in this presentation, keep in mind that while these resources have fueled development, their environmental impact urges us to consider cleaner, sustainable alternatives. Now, moving on to this slide titled Additional Images, I want to highlight that visuals play a crucial role in enhancing understanding and engagement. Here, we're looking at various images that complement the main content, providing additional context and clarity. These images help us see real-world examples or different perspectives that reinforce the key points we've discussed. Remember, integrating relevant visuals is a powerful way to make complex ideas more accessible and memorable. As we review these, think about how they connect to the overall theme of the presentation and how they can support your own communication strategies. The goal is to use imagery not just as decoration, but as a meaningful tool to deepen comprehension and retention. Now let's talk about the melting of polar ice. As global temperatures rise, the polar ice caps are melting at an accelerated rate. This isn't just about losing ice in the Arctic and Antarctic. It has far-reaching consequences. One of the most significant impacts is the rise in sea levels. As the ice melts, it adds more water to our oceans, leading to coastal flooding and threatening habitats and communities. This brings us to an important point about environmental concerns. The melting ice and rising sea levels are clear indicators of the broader impacts of climate change. They highlight the urgent need for action to address these issues. Connecting this to our overall theme, it's a stark reminder that our planet's health is interconnected. Changes in polar regions don't stay isolated. They affect global systems, economies, and ecosystems. Understanding these links helps us recognize the importance of sustainable practices and proactive solutions. Now, as we look at these environmental images, I want to highlight some of the key concerns that are increasingly affecting our planet. These visuals really remind us of the pressing issues like pollution, deforestation, and climate change. Each image tells a story about the impact human activity has on the environment. What's most important to remember is that these concerns are interconnected and have real consequences for ecosystems and communities worldwide. Addressing them requires awareness, responsibility, and collective action. This ties back to the overall theme of our presentation, that sustainable practices are essential for protecting our future. We all have a role to play in reducing our environmental footprint and advocating for solutions that promote health and resilience for our planet.